Hi, how are you? I'm Anthony from Cypher, and today I have a bit of a review video. A few weeks ago, I asked some members of my Twitch chat to help me find puzzly related items on Amazon. If you want to be part of future events like this one, there's a link to my Twitch channel down in the description below. The result of that poll was this bag that showed up at my house recently. I haven't opened this yet, but in theory, there are 5 items in here that are either puzzles or puzzle-adjacent items picked out by members of my Twitch chat, and every single one is, or was, valued at less than $10 on Amazon at the time I purchased them, and so I am going to be going through this, opening it up on camera, and we're going to be talking about how each of these items ranks in terms of puzzle ability, and whether or not I think the purchases are worth it or not. So let's get to opening. Actually, there's a tab here. It says pull to open. No tools required. You just pull that right open, just like that. Perfect. All right, I'm just gonna reach inside, and we're going to see what the first item I pull out is. All right, our first item is the 3D interactive maze ball. When I purchased this on Amazon, it was on sale, I suppose, for $9.99. Currently, this item is being sold on Amazon for $11.99, and the ad advertises an amazing 3D memory sequential maze ball puzzle toy, gifts for kids, adults, challenges, game lover, tiny balls, brain teaser game blue. One thing that I am noticing is that, at least on my box, the yellow ball is the largest one on pretty much every side. So I'm wondering if they actually lied to me and gave me a yellow ball instead of a blue one. Now, this one does not have a convenient pull tab, so I'm going to carefully cut the seal with scissors there. All right, let's see. Oh no, we do actually have a blue ball. We did not get cheated and given the yellow one. There's nothing else in the box aside from the ball itself. And very little on the box other than the copyright owner. Now, I'm not... Okay, I didn't hear a ball moving at first. It's so tiny. I don't even know if this is going to show up on camera. Let me see. Yeah, there's the teeny little ball right in there. So, it is such a small ball. The main feature that I notice about this is that there seems to be a hole that runs all the way through the ball from, I guess, top to bottom. So, I would guess the goal is to navigate that little teeny tiny ball around to one of these, and then it falls all the way through the other side. I don't think the ball doesn't seem to open up or anything. So I don't think there's really much of a goal beyond that. All right, let's see if I can navigate that ball in there. It's going to be a bit challenging. The fact that the ball is on the surface of another ball means we go from not really moving at all to flying through everything in a second. Oh, hey, I got it through. Okay, the ball just fell through, and now it is on the other side. Hooray! The whole thing in general feels like a pretty, like, cheap plastic, I would guess. I didn't really expect anything else, but it's not really the most, like, satisfying thing to just kind of hold in your hands. Because the ball that's moving through the maze is so tiny and just makes this, like, tiny little clinking sound, I don't think it's really that satisfying to, you know, even fidget around with. Maybe that's just my take. Maybe some people would find this extremely entertaining. But for me, this kind of loses all interest for me pretty quickly. And as one of the most expensive items that we purchased, I gotta think that lowers its ranking a little bit. I haven't really decided yet, actually, how I'm ranking these. I guess just on a scale of 1 to 10. I guess I could give them, like, tiers. I could go, like, S tier down to... Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, there. I've made a tier list with all of the items that we're going to be looking at on today's video, and I've tried to define the various tiers, S tier being one of the best puzzles imaginable, A tier just being a good puzzle, B tier being an okay puzzle, just kind of middle of the road, nothing special, but I also didn't hate it. C tier being a bad puzzle, and D being one of the worst puzzles that I could imagine purchasing. So all of these were on the cheaper end, all of these were less than $10, but this one in particular was basically exactly $10, and for having literally about 30 seconds of amusement, and then not much else going for it after that, I have got to put the 3D maze puzzle into D tier, personally. I don't like this, and I don't think this was a good purchase. So I'm going to actually use this shelf behind me to rank the 5 items that I got relative to each other. Let's see. What's next? Let's go with this one. Okay. This is actually a heftier book than I thought. This is a book called Myrtle, Volume 1. I bought this book on Amazon for $7.99, and it looks like it's still on sale for that much, at least the paperback version. You can get a spiral-bound version that's more expensive. But it says, Myrtle, Volume 1, national bestseller, the worldwide puzzle phenomenon on the Washington Post's 10 great gifts for book lovers. Clever, satisfying, and utterly addictive. The back of the book makes this look like an Einstein's logic kind of puzzle where you have different categories of things and you need to check box and X them. But apparently there's a bit of a focus on mysteries. We're finding out who did the murder, what weapon they used, and where they did it. So the first thing in the book is some information on how to solve these. And I will say, I actually, after buying this book, I did look at a couple of things on their website. They have a daily mini Myrtle, so I think I have an idea of what kinds of things are going to be in this book, but I'm curious how if they've done anything to like adapt it to print. Okay, so it looks like in the first chapter, they kind of take you through an example case. They give you 3 descriptions of people, then they give you 3 places and 3 possible items. They give you the clues over here for how you go about associating each of these people with a weapon and a location, and then you check mark all of those off, and one of these tells you how you know which specific set the murderer is. Sometimes some of the clues might be like encoded or ciphered in some way, so we might have to use one of these in order to solve it. This is the first one. It's called Myrtle in Hollywood, and I just noticed that everything's backwards on screen, but it's also going to be upside down, so hopefully that's not too big of an issue. We have 3 suspects. There's an amazing Orlin, there's Midnight 3, there's Dame Obsidian, 3 locations, a bathroom, a bedroom, and the screening room, and 3 weapons, a fork, a pipe, and a heavy candle. Our first clue is that the amazing Orlin trusted the suspect who brought a fork. So that means the amazing Orlin did not bring the fork themselves. Midnight 3 was still brandishing an aluminum pipe. So Midnight 3 is this person, and they had the pipe. So those 2 clues together help us to associate every suspect with a weapon. Now we just need to get the locations. A heavy candle was not found in the bathroom. So candle, which we know is also the amazing Orlin, does not go in the bathroom. And lastly, Dame Obsidian was found hiding beneath red velvet seats. So sometimes we need to reference the descriptions of the locations to see that the screening room has red velvet seats in it. So that's kind of a twist on the usual Einstein's logic kind of puzzles, where you have full descriptions of suspects, items, and rooms, so that, you know, in the clues they can say something like, there's no red velvet seats, and you gotta say, well, which of these mentions red velvet seats? It's that one. The final clue tells us that the body was found inside a marble tub. That, of course, is going to be in the bathroom. But overall, there are a lot of puzzles in here, and I appreciate that they are putting a bit of a twist on the classic Einstein's logic, just check off the logic boxes kind of mentality. This is kind of like, this reminds me a little bit of like when Sudoku puzzles started to get boring for the average person, and so they started coming up with like killer Sudokus and math Sudokus and all kinds of other like interesting takes on Sudoku. This feels like an interesting way to modify the Einstein's logic grid checkmarks and X's kind of logic puzzle. I don't know that it's all that innovative or enlightening of a way to do that, but it is an attempt at that, and I gotta give some credit for trying to modify the usual formula. So where am I going to put Myrtle? I think this is definitely not a bad puzzle. I don't think this is the best puzzle either. Like I said, I feel like I will probably work through a few of these, but I feel like it's going to get old before I work through all 100 of them. I think we're going to say Myrtle is a good puzzle. Like I said, there's a lot that you get here. If this is the kind of puzzle that you like, these Einstein logic puzzles, then you'll probably find a lot of value in this. It was a relatively cheap book, and like I said, there's a lot in here. It's thicker than I was imagining. Okay, let's see what's next in our bag of tricks. This is the first thing I felt, so let's pull it out. Okay, I think I know what this is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what this is. This is another item that was on sale, I suppose, when I bought it. I got it for $9.99 again, so right at the top of the threshold of what I was looking to spend for this video. And currently, it's they're charging $14, so I guess I got it at a steal. But this, I believe, is Metal Wire Puzzle Set of 24 with pouch, brain teaser, IQ test, disentanglement, Iron Link, Unlock, Interlock Game, Chinese Ring Magic, Trick Toy for Party Favor Kids Adults Challenge. So it really just flows right off the tongue. They've clearly given a lot of thought to their marketing, but I think this is the actual carrying bag, set of 24 with pouch. I believe this is pouch. We've found pouch. So they have these mats that we saw in the image, but they don't really like indicate which square the various puzzles go on, and they're all just kind of thrown together into a bag. And there are 24 of them. It looks like 3 different sets of 8. But yeah, immediately the presentation of this is not what it looks like in the original listing. Which one of these should I go with? Let's just open the blue one for now. Not looking at the answers. This is just where the opening is. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can arrange these onto the mat, at least. Okay, so, like, these two. Okay, so I imagine the goal is to just, take all these apart. So let's start with these 2 hearts and just see. This doesn't look like it's not going to be that challenging. Let's try these weird horseshoe things. This one could be a little bit more challenging, because they're such strange shapes. So yeah, not bad. I've done a lot of these kind of fidget puzzles throughout my life, so none of these are really surprising me in terms of, how one goes about getting to the solution. But I could totally see these being entertaining for a bit. They'd be a good talking piece. You could, like, set these out at a party or something and just see, how long it takes for people to solve every single one. So I don't really dislike this. I feel like this definitely gives you more value than the ball. The ball's not good. Is this worth $10? That's the question. That's the question that I'm struggling with. This is a good puzzle. Okay, on its own merits, it's a good puzzle. Is it worth $10 as a puzzle? Because you get 3. You get 3 sets of these. And some of them look interesting. Like, that one has a spring in there. Like, what's that doing in there? I don't know. So, where am I putting the little twisty puzzles? I think I'm also going to put them in A tier. I don't think that these are as good as Myrtle, though, so I'm leaving Myrtle ranked above them. Alright, let's see what's next. We have 2 more items in here. Alright, let's see what's next. There are 2 more items in here. Let's do this one. This is interesting. I love the packaging on this immediately. Oh, that's so nice. Look at this. So we have, it's a twisty puzzle. I can't read most of what's on the packaging. So I originally bought this for $6.96, and here we have an instance where I could have saved money if I had apparently bought it a little bit later. Now I would have saved like 20 cents, less than 20 cents. But that's my bad investment decisions, I suppose. This is 3x3 Speed Cube, YJ, Scoob Twisty 3x3x3 Speed Cube, Magic Speed Cube, Puzzles Black Sturdy, and Smooth Speed Cube Puzzles Toy. Very intuitive name that they chose for that there. Inside we have, I think, are these solving instructions? Let's see. Yeah, so we have cube solutions here. This is interesting. Now, I was kind of excited about this. I have done Rubik's Cubes before. I used to know how to solve them. Now, I don't think I do anymore. But this doesn't really seem like a Rubik's Cube. This is something very different. So what are the different ways this can even twist? Like, I can't twist just a corner. I thought that I might be able to, but I can't. So I do these weird, like, half twists, it looks like. Something like that, where you can change the shape of the cube. And I've always thought these looked interesting, but I've always been a bit frightened to mess these ones up, because, you know, I don't know if I can solve them again. So can I twist from the half, like, messed up cube state? Is there anywhere that I can twist to mess this up more? Or is the only thing that I can do to just kind of keep going until I'm basically at another one of the cube positions? I'm not immediately feeling like any other way for me to twist this other than along the axis that I'm already turning along. So I think the only way to scramble this one up is to twist it until you've gone... How much of a rotation is that? 1, 2... 3. Interesting. So there's 3 valid states along each axis that you can turn the cube into. All right, enough putting it off. Let's get to scrambling the cube. They say this is a speed cube in the listing on Amazon, and I don't know enough about twisty puzzles to be able to verify if that's accurate or not. But I will say that as I'm twisting this, it feels pretty nice. Like it does the twisty things that I have come to expect from twisty puzzles. But that looks pretty scrambled, doesn't it? Everything's on different sides. All the colors are mixed up. Now, this I am starting to think that this might actually be easier than a normal Rubik's Cube, because you have these giant diamonds on each side. The only pieces that move are actually the corners. So the centers are always the same, these 6 colors on the sides, and you're only mixing up, it's basically like a Rubik's Cube but without edges, isn't it? I'm going to see if I can solve like half the cube. I'm going to try to solve maybe just the top half. So I need the blue, orange, and red corner like here, oriented in the correct way. So let me see if I can find that corner. Actually, there isn't a blue, red, and orange corner. So that actually does add some complexity, because that means that the edges move relative to each other. So that means in our final cube orientation, blue, red, and orange are not going to actually be next to each other, which makes sense, because when you like do a twist like this, now blue and red are on opposite sides of the cube from each other rather than adjacent sides. And that's not possible with a normal Rubik's Cube. So that's actually really interesting. Like, I'm just trying to get the blue corner there. I was just trying to get a blue corner matched up with the blue corner. Now, can I get white on that side? Okay, so now I have this blue, this is all correct. Can I get red on the other side? That's kind of cool that once you have 2 sides, you can kind of keep them in check and rotate along the other axis till you get that last color where it needs to go. So I have this corner basically solved and in place. The question is, how do I get other corners solved and in place? Like, this corner's in the right place. It's red, blue, and yellow. It just needs to be rotated somehow. So yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with this for a little bit to kind of get an idea of how the various twists work. But especially for less than $7, I can't help but feel like this is an S-tier puzzle. People in the twisty puzzle community are probably going to look at this and think that I'm crazy, that this is either way too expensive for a twisty puzzle, or that this is a very rudimentary type of twisty puzzle and I'm being impressed by it for no reason. If that's your take, that is completely completely and totally fine and completely and totally valid. I do not solve a lot of twisty puzzles. I don't have the best dictionary for how to even talk about them. So for me, this is very interesting. This is fun, and I think for $7 that, yeah, you're not going to find... This is definitely more fidgetable than the ball. I think it's going to be more of an interesting party piece than the separating, interlocking puzzles. And I think it's a better twist on a classic puzzle than Myrtle. So yeah, this hits all the criteria that I've talked about for the past 3 items, but it just does them all so much better, and I'm going to keep fidgeting with this unless I put it down. Alright, last item is in the bag here. Let's take this out. Okay. So this is Foldology. I apparently made another good deal. I bought Foldology for $9.98, and it's currently on sale for $13.99. So I got it on super sale, apparently. I don't know how I did that, but that's how it went. The full title is Foldology, the Origami Puzzle Game. Hands-on brain teasers, travel game for tweens, teens, and adults. Fold the paper to complete the picture, 100 challenges. So this sounded really interesting because I went through a bit of an origami phase when I was in college, where I was just folding actual normal origami. So the idea of this being some sort of origami puzzle challenge just seems really cool. So this is what's on the back of the actual packaging here. Fold each sheet into a 4x4 square so that one side shows the completed picture. The other has only dark colored squares. All right, so here it is. There's like a thicker kind of outer sleeve almost, like around the main pieces of paper that are in here, almost like sticky notes, it seems. Yeah, they have like, they're glued at the top, and we have all of the various puzzles in here. So I'm gonna start with, I'll just start with the one that's shown on the packaging to kind of get an idea for how this works. Basically, I have this piece of origami paper. It just says Foldology on the back, and on the front it has, I think, the green squares that we're supposed to be having on the back of our picture. The white, I think, is supposed to all get folded in, and the earth is the final picture that we're supposed to be making here. So this one actually shows us the solution right here on the back as kind of a how to get started. But it looks like I'm supposed to start by folding these back in this direction. Okay, so that's the goal. We need to make picture on one side, all of the dark squares on the other side. That would be a successful one. Now, let me see if I can do one that I don't have the answers to. I'm thinking the first thing I want to do is to do a diagonal fold, but I don't know yet. Well, actually, okay, here's what I'm thinking from my years of origami expertise. I'm thinking we do a diagonal fold this way. Then we're going to do the same along the other diagonal. I'm just going to fold it in half like that. So now that I have these folds all accentuated, what I'm going to try to do is fold this just like I'm doing here, where the diagonals are mountain folds and the middle is a valley fold, because that pushes our little fishy together over here. That does not get the result that I wanted. My fishy is together on this side. But, oh, actually, I think it's going to work. I think I just have to do it a little bit more carefully. God, it's going to take a little bit of massaging of the folds. There we go. There we go. Now everything's kind of folded in on itself. We have our nice 2x2 square with all of our colored squares on the back and our image of the fishy on this side. I'm a bit cautious to say that this is, like, one of the best levels of puzzles, because it is the kind of puzzle that, like, if you mess it up, you really can't do it again. Like, if you fold the paper an excessive number of times, you've just basically ruined your puzzle, and you can't really solve it anymore. Let me see what their website looks like. Okay, so they have all of the solutions, it looks like, on YouTube. So this is the one we just did with the fish. So yeah, make the diagonal fold. Okay, so I made it maybe a little more complicated than I needed to. You just needed to fold that side down. Well, my solution also worked. I got a fish. Look at my fish. So overall, where am I ranking Foldology? I'm surprisingly happy with it. I'm definitely going to be sitting here at random points just like fidgeting with this. I'm more likely to fidget with this than the fidget toys. I'm maybe about as likely to fidget with this as the cube. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But is this worth it as a puzzle? The cube you can't actually destroy by fidgeting with it. The Foldology you can. That's the only thing that's really holding me up. I'm going to put this also in A tier, but I'm going to put it ahead of Myrtle. I think this is the second best item, which I was expecting this to be my favorite going in, but I do think the cube actually beats it. There we go. That's my official ranking of everything. But that's just my ranking. Let me know what yours are down in the comments below. Was I too harsh on the maze ball? Was I too liberal with S tier for the twisty puzzle? Feel free to let me know your thoughts. There are no wrong answers here. This is just how you feel about each of these items, and if you want to check one of them out yourself, feel free, give it a go. I think you could do a lot worse than some of these puzzles that are on this list. I think they were more interesting than I expected. Did you like this video format? Let me know down in the comments section. I have two cameras now, so I can do things kind of like this more often, where one of them is showing my face and reactions, and the other one is showing my hands and what I'm doing on my desk, so let me know, and I'm happy to do things like this again in the future. We can do more manipulation puzzles, folding papers, or twisty puzzles, I don't know. Whatever. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you all have a great day, and as always, happy escaping. Bye!